Hey, I'm Anna with Magnolia Media. Welcome to the MaG Show. Today we are with Kenneth Dustin Markham, other known as Judge Markham. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank
Good.
you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I think people need to be a little more aware of what you do.
Well, I've served as judge for the city of Meridian since July of 2021. And as soon as I got in, I just kind of diagnosed what we needed, made a whole bunch of changes, and the clerical staff has been great. They didn't necessarily buy in initially, but they bought in. You know, you got a young person they've never really met before, having to work with, but they have been amazing. I love.
So some of the things you're doing at night court.
That came from my idea. One of the clerks actually suggested it. And I kind of read and saw that a lot of other areas across the nation do night court as a way to accommodate people who can't make the normal 8 o'clock a.m. docket or 1 o'clock p.m. afternoon docket. And so 5 o'clock is an option for people who need to get off work, need to come in, need to handle their tickets or their other business. I also have an open door policy. So even if you need to walk in and handle a payment plan, or make some adjustments, or talk to me about some things that I can talk to you about while I'm on the bench, then I'm there for that as well. So it's been really welcomed.
Wait, how uncommon is that?
What?
An open door policy for a Mississippi judge?
Well, it's very uncommon, but as long as you're complying with the judicial canons and you're not having any ex parte communication, then you can do it. So we satisfy all the requirements. And we're able to kind of handle their issue on the spot as long as they agree to allow the court to handle their issue, given the circumstances. So it works out great.
I love all this.
Thank you.
You know, the reality of America, well, the reality of life is that we have 8 to 5s. And getting to court isn't always easy. People let things that control their life fall under the radar because they need to go make money. And people can find themselves with additional fines or jail time. So you're giving Americans, basic Mississippians,
that opportunity. The open door policy allows them to purge themselves from contempt by coming in at the next available court date and just saying, hey, Judge, I forgot. I'm here. I understand that you can't do anything about the fine, but I'm here. We can work out a payment plan, or is there any way that, and, you know, sometimes based on discretion and the reason, you know, I can take that unsecured appearance bond off. So that's the extra money that's off of their fine they don't have to pay. So it's just I'm really big on accepting responsibility. Fines are punitive, but sometimes fines aren't always necessary when people are correcting their own behavior. We have a lot of things that we do through alternative sentencing. We have a partnership with Meridian Community College. We've turned out some graduates. We've been able to refer people in lieu of jail or fines to MCC to do the ACT Accuplacer and actually get in programs over there. We've had people refer from city court to go and get their GEDs. We've got 2 truck driving graduates who graduated. We've got somebody in cosmetology now. We also have a community service team that I started about 1.5 years ago that we go out and work when the weather's good.
Did you bring some people to Sip and Savor?
You
had some people volunteer for one of our community events.
I had some people volunteer with the ACEs. They did a downtown cleanup of Dumont, and we partnered with them for Dumont.
And how lovely is that?
Yeah,
I mean, it's something that's needed.
So they were able to get credit towards their fines, and for some of them, the credit allowed them to catch back up on their existing payment plan. But I was also, in my discretion, really flexible on catching them back up on their payment plan in exchange for the time they spent working out in Dumont or working with the ACEs. So I have the discretion consistent with Mississippi law and the authority the city of Meridian has given me through their codes and ordinances to be able to administer justice in a way I think is necessary. And a lot of that is through alternative sentencing. And it's turned out to be great. I was just joking with Thomas Adams, who is our Parks and Rec director. He was like, you know, Dustin, when's your community service team starting again? Because we're going to be doing some stuff for the summer. And I was like, man, honestly, we've got people who are just caught up with their fines, not behind, and they want to come volunteer. So one of my clerks, Mario Scott, is actually compiling a list. And I told Thomas, a lot of the people on the list that are going to be working with y'all are people just they just want to get out in the community.
So see what you did when I said around like-minded people. Now they're around people who inspired them, and now they're just volunteering.
Definitely.
It's a domino effect. Definitely. I love it. So our court in Meridian is a community court.
Definitely.
We're the only one in Mississippi.
Only one in Mississippi ever. First court in Mississippi that's ever been designated as a community court. One of 10 in the nation is designated by the United States Department of Justice. So
to get a
$600,000 grant to continue to use our court staff as community liaisons to further our alternative sentencing and further what we do in the community with our partnerships, WEAMS, MUTE, Mississippi United to End Homelessness, MCC, all of the other agencies that we work hand in hand with to give people an option.
It's truly helping give people a better life.
Definitely.
I interviewed an attorney from Mississippi Center for Justice, and she is on the expungement campaign. And some people couldn't understand why I said she helped prevent crime. If people get their record expunged and they've been doing right for a decade, right? Now they can get better housing, better jobs.
Definitely. Expungement has a special place in my heart. I threw the largest expungement clinic in the state of Mississippi in 2016 at EMEPA. We had over 300 people attend. We actually beat the attendance that was record that was previously set at the Metro Center in Jackson.
Wow.
And it was amazing. It was a 3-day event. The first day, people were able to meet with lawyers from this area who volunteered their time to see if they qualified. The next day, they were able to meet at the Boys and Girls Club with lawyers from this area, and those lawyers, for free, drafted their pleadings, their petition, and their petition for expungement and order.
Right there.
The third day was right around April 1st of 2016, but the late Justin Cobb, who was a circuit judge, agreed and sat on the bench that day and signed orders, allowed people to appear with a representative from the DA's office to have their records, their orders that had been drafted for them, signed
on day 3.
On day 3, walked down to the clerk's office, and the clerks notified MBI and FBI so they could make the change to get it off their record. So expungement is a gateway. It makes people feel good to be able to get that off their record and then go do a job application or a housing application and say, I've never been convicted of a felony, or I've never been convicted of a crime,
And I didn't realize some people won't apply for a job, won't apply for housing, which is bettering their life and the life of their family because of just being ashamed. Charity, the attorney, told me that. I was like, really? She said, you have no idea how many clients I have. It's in their head.
Yeah, beats them up every day.
So Mississippi needs progression.
I agree.
Right? And
I agree.
You were appointed judge July 2021. You said, let me take a look, see how I can change things. And you started changing things.
Definitely. And like I said, the ladies, we had a meeting, that first meeting, the first day. And I was just like, look, I'm going to kind of sit back and see what y'all do and fit in where y'all are. And then after about 3 months, we're going to make some adjustments. And like a couple of weeks after we had that meeting, I was like, hey, these are some things we can do better. And they were like all in. And now everybody down there is bought in. I just talked to one of them earlier today. We had a young lady that we were trying to help, and we got to figure out how to help. And I actually, after this, I'm probably going to go and I got to go down and talk to the clerk to see what we can do in order to accommodate her and assist her on a Friday, going into the weekend, kind of brainstorm. But they're open and they work really hard, and I'm glad to have all of them.
It makes me more proud to be a citizen of Meridian, because this is where it's happening in Mississippi. We're the only community court in Mississippi. I just want to reiterate that. And because Mississippi history, American history, we have some dark times. You're a success story that needs to be told on repeat. You're a product of Meridian, Mississippi. You graduated Meridian Public Schools, and then you became the first African-American judge in our town.
Definitely. It's humbling and it's a blessing, and I just appreciate the opportunity. Mayor Smith, he's been very supportive and very hands off. So he gave me the job and just said, hey, I trust you to do the job. You're the lawyer, you know what to do. And, it's only been up for that. So I appreciate the opportunity that he gave me. I appreciate the city council who believed in me and confirmed me. And, I see them from time to time, and they're supportive, so I just appreciate the opportunity and being able to give back to Meridian and touch those lives, because we're the first court that people have interaction with in the city, whether it's a misdemeanor or it's something as simple as a ticket or affidavit or something as serious as a felony. We're the first court that people have interaction with. So like I tell our clerks there and everybody I work with down there, it's imperative that people understand the role of judicial intervention and understand procedurally how things are supposed to go. And we set the tone for people who've never been in court before. We set the tone for what they think about court going forward when they ever have to go back.
Because everyone makes mistakes.
Definitely.
So you might find yourself in court, but it doesn't have to be an intimidating, horrible experience.
It doesn't.
Imagine that. It can be a learning experience that helps the community in the long run.
Definitely. 2 jobs I've had that have really impacted who I am and kind of how I handle the community. Youth court was one.
Okay.
And I drove a school bus for Meridian Public Schools for 8 years.
You learned so much.
Oh my gosh. So I drove the morning route. I drove the morning and afternoon at times. And then when I joined Barry, Thagard, and May firm, I cut it back in just the morning. So I would drive the route in the morning before I went into the firm. And seeing where some of those kids live, where they come from, the home environments, the structure, the lack of structure, some of the struggles they have, and some of the obstacles they face before they ever walk into a classroom, ever have any interaction with a teacher or coach, kind of helped me understand where these kids come from and where these parents come from. And it's also built relationships, because now I see a lot of these kids in the community. They either rode my bus, they were Crestwooders, ride my bus, or I saw them at the juvenile center. And we have that relationship, and there's a level of respect because they know I've never really done anything to them. I've always done my best to relate to them and make the best decision for them and their family.
What's in the future for you?
I like practice, and I like what I do as a judge. I love being able to help people day in and day out. I love my clerks. Again, I know I keep bragging on my clerks, but I have to thank them. I have to thank Michelle Joyner, who's our court collection specialist, Dr. Amanda Cox, who also works with Mississippi State. She's our crime data analyst. When I post a lot of stats, she's the one that crunches those numbers really quick for me. Donna Foreman, who's my lead clerk, Mario Scott, who's over the community service team, Alicia Kirby, Liddell Smith, all of those people, my prosecutor, Tad Campbell, all of them, all of the attorneys, there's too many to name, but all of the attorneys who serve as public defenders when I need them, everybody has just bought in, and it's just a collaborative effort, a collective effort, and I'm so thankful to have them. Donna has worked to streamline our docket. She knows I like to spend a little bit more time per person to kind of see what's going on with them. So she's made these dockets a lot lighter, so I can spend that time at the 8 o'clock docket and the 1 o'clock docket and now night court. She shifted the night court docket. So instead of just saying, hey, what's your name? Guilty, not guilty, get on down, pay the fine. I can say, hey, kind of tell me a little bit about yourself. What's going on? I know, from a financial situation, you might not be able to pay the fine. These fines have kind of piled up on you. Where are you in school? Are you in school? What's the highest level of education you've completed? If I referred you out to MCC via order, would you go out and meet with these ladies and see what you could do as far as getting your GED or getting into a program or seeing if you qualify for financial aid? That opens so many doors, and people actually feel like a person.
Yes.
And so I'm sincerely thankful for all the work they've done to open those doors to give me the time to do that.
The dominoes keep falling because of people that are supportive and buying in, as you said earlier. You as an activist, because I am an activist in the state of Mississippi and all over America. I back the blue, but I do not support corruption or police brutality.
Definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
We have police brutality numbers that are startling in Mississippi. What you're doing is decreasing interactions with the police. You're not getting pulled over because you have a warrant, because you did community service. So you're helping reduce police brutality too. It just keeps going.
We've also had the two largest amnesty days in the history of the city of Meridian. We had one February of 22 and February of 23. We gave the entire city one day a year for the last 2 years to come in, get some of these warrants off of them, clean their fines up, sign up for the community service team, sign up for school in lieu of fines. We had a girl that came in, young lady, great young lady, who had about 4,000 in fines. We put on a community service team to start trying to work some of that down. She told my bailiff, my really good friend, Dietrich Robinson, he's one I forgot, but Dietrich worked with us on the community service team to kind of be that police presence while we were working. And Dietrich came to me and just said, hey, Judge, she told me, look, she's got some stuff going on, but she really wants to get back to school. She's got some kids and she wants to be able to provide. And I said, cool. Tell her to come by Monday. When we have a little break, we'll see what we can do for her. She came by Monday. All my clerks were there. My prosecutor was there. Everybody was there. And we signed her up we got her referred to MCC. She met with Miss Jennifer Whitlock and Miss Smith out there. She was able to get enrolled into the truck driving program. She finished the truck driving program, top of her class. Changed her life. I was at her graduation. I watched her walk across the stage, and she's now driving for a local company here. The $4,000 in fines are wiped out, just like I would have given her $100 credit in jail. I gave her $100 credit for every day she was in school in the program, which, school is jail sometimes too. It can feel like jail too.
Yeah.
But I gave her credit. Now she's driving for one of our local companies, providing for her family. She's great.
So awesome.
She's great. I'm sincerely proud of her. That's one of our great success stories.
That's a beautiful story, and she's contributing to the economy. The gentleman that you had write an essay.
Definitely.
What was his alternative sentencing?
Well, he had an interaction with law enforcement that wasn't necessarily the best. And so when I talked to him, I just told him, hey man, it could have gone differently, and got to talk to him. And I just asked him, hey, what interest? How old are you? You're senior in high school. Okay, what you gonna do after high school? Well, I want to be a realtor. And I first looked at him like, man, you playing with me. You just saying anything to get out. You're a kid. You saying anything to get out of here. But I really explored. He was like, no, I want to be a commercial contractor, and I want to said it just clean. I want to be a commercial contractor, and I want to deal in residential and commercial real estate. And I said, I tell you what, write me an essay on the requirements to be a realtor in Mississippi, residential and commercial. Give me 2 pages. And you bring those back, then I'll see if I can open the door for you, see what we can do. I'll handle this ticket. If this will be your punishment. You're gonna have a fine, your essay will be your punishment. So I have 2 great friends, Eddie Welch and Saran Heath, who are realtors. Saran for Dwell and Eddie for Hill. And both top producers.
Yeah.
Really good friends of mine. And so I called them and I said, hey, I got a young man who's interested in realty. And this is what I did to him. His punishment is to write an essay. But if y'all are available Monday at 8, which is a hard time for anybody, I want you to come down and meet him. He doesn't know y'all are gonna meet him. But I want y'all to come down and meet him. And so they got there, being friends. They got there, and I called him up, and they just kind of sat in the audience, and I just said, hey man, you got your paper? He said, yeah. Had it in a folder, pulled it out the folder, opened it up, gave it to him. Kid, high school kid. I was really impressed.
I would have been too.
Oh man. And I said, okay, look, I told you that I was gonna take care of you if you did this paper. I called Eddie up and called Saran up, and they met with him, went back in my office, met with him for about 45 minutes.
You got mentors.
Exchanged information, and now Eddie and Saran are gonna take him to lunch and see what they can do for him for some type of summer internship. The Mississippi law changed, so you can be 18 to sign a contract for real estate. You can be 18 to get your real estate license, and he's 18. So he has the opportunity for those guys to serve as a bridge or bridges to help him
Yes.
get to what he wants to do.
Another life changed. Another life changed. But thank you so much for coming on. Keep going, please. Keep doing what you're doing for our community.
Keep going with this. This is great. I've watched some of the others you've done.
Thank you.
So keep going with this. This is great.
I hope to.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all.